While there are days where we get to embrace the sun, and spend the days by the pool, we also had recent chilly and wet conditions, and there is nothing more comforting and warming than a home-cooked meal. I'm pretty sure everyone could agree to that. We're talking about the smells and tastes that you take straight back home and fill you with warmth, love, and comfort. Now, our roast tomato soup with 3 cheese and onion toasties is guaranteed to hit you right in the feels. Our trusted chef, Chef Ilam, hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good, just a little bit chilly and cold.
It is very chilly and cold. On social media, we're asking what's your favorite go-to meal to make you feel warm in the inside. What would you say is yours?
Well, I think this soup and toasted sandwiches is literally the first thing I think of when it rains.
Yes.
And it's something so easy and delicious to make, and it's really comforting.
And soup reminds you of home, right? It really gives you that sense of nostalgia. Well, I'm here to help you. I'm seeing a range of ingredients on the table. Please take us through them.
Okay, so I'm going to get started on the tomato soup, and maybe you can start the cheese toasties.
Oh, sure.
So for the tomato soup, and I think tomato soup is really an underrated soup. Like a lot of people, I'm not sure if it's like a Marmite thing where people either love it or hate it. We've got some onion sauteing here, and the red peppers and the tomatoes have been roasted. So we're actually just going to add the garlic in first with the onion, so that can saute.
Are we cooking at very low heat?
I would say medium.
Medium.
Because you want to just saute the onions so they get a bit translucent. And then we're going to go in and we're going to add our roasted red peppers and our tomatoes.
Did we roast them in the oven?
Yeah, so those get roasted for about maybe 15 to 20 minutes at about 180, just so that, you know, it adds some depth of flavor to the soup.
Do you add any like spices at all while we are roasting the peppers and the tomatoes?
So you can put some salt and pepper on it. You can even put some, maybe you can even add your garlic to the to your tomatoes so they get roasted at the same time. And then so we're just going to let this kind of simmer. And then what you're going to do with the toasted sandwiches, we're going to mix all of our cheeses in one bowl. So we've got the Gouda, the feta, and then there's some cheddar cheese. So we're going to mix all of those together. So that's one part of our dish. And then we've already got some caramelized onions.
Onions over there.
So it's like a cheese and tomato, a cheese and an onion sort of sami, but with caramelized onions. So, you know, when you caramelize the onions, it just becomes a whole lot sweeter.
Yes.
And it just adds more flavor.
But how do you caramelize your onions? Just briefly for us, please.
So we're going to leave that separate. And then we're going to butter our bread. We just butter both sides. And then we're going to put some mayonnaise and some mustard on.
So butter, mayo, and mustard. Would you like me to help you with this one as well?
Please.
With pleasure. You know, when I think of tomato soup, for us, we call it ibisto.
Yeah.
Do you know ibisto?
Yes.
Ibisto, right? Yeah, ibisto, where you just cook your tomatoes with onions, very minimal ingredients, but also it's just so filling.
It is, and I feel like with, you know, when you're making something like a tomato soup, you can add different ingredients to it. So you can use whatever tomatoes you have, and there's so many different varieties of tomatoes that you can use. You know, you can use pretty much whatever you have in your fridge. Doesn't matter what kind of tomato, and if you want to add, you know, sort of more flavor, you can add different varieties of tomato, or you can add like maybe some yellow pepper and some red pepper. So I'm just going to add the stock, the chicken stock, to this, so that our soup can simmer.
Okay, let me clean up.
So you can use chicken stock or vegetable stock. It doesn't really matter. Now, obviously, if you're vegetarian, you can use vegetable stock.
Okay.
And then we're going to add, once this has simmered and you've blended this, right, we're just going to add our seasoning. So we've got some salt, and we're going to add some pepper, and then always add your seasoning last, because with soup, when something is reducing, if you add it at the beginning, then, you know, it'll reduce and it might be too salty or it might be too sweet or something like that. So I actually just added a little bit of sugar in there so that it kind of balances the acidity in the tomatoes.
I see.
And then we've got some basil. So right at the end, once you've blended it, you can add the basil in. And
so you can also get the rich flavors out of your dish, right?
Okay, I think the most of it.
I did a great job with the cheeses, right?
Thank you. So now we've got some We've got some mayonnaise and some mustard. Now, adding mustard with cheese actually adds another layer of flavor that you wouldn't get, you know, if you didn't add it. And then we're just going to go in with we're going to add our cheese mixture. And then our onion.
This looks so delicious, though.
And the more the merrier.
The more the merrier. You can never say no to cheese.
Yeah. Oh, and so for the caramelized onions, you would just take your onions, your sliced onions, put them in some butter, and then you know, just keep them on a low heat. So you don't want to burn your onion.
Yeah.
You just want to like slowly caramelize and get that, you know, like sugar to like start working and get this lovely brown color. And then we are going to toast this.
Yum.
And I think let's put a little bit of chives in here as well.
We have to put in some
just
chives.
looks pretty.
It looks so pretty, Lam. I can't lie. And if you would like to obviously add variety to your dish, you are able to add different types of meats if you can, right? Like horse or...
Oh, of course, completely.
Completely.
Yeah.
So now we're switching on the plate to toast our... Our bread with the cheeses, with the caramelized onion, with the chives on it.
Yeah, so the butter side down and then put that on top.
Oh,
stunning. And we're just going to toast this until it's really nice and golden.
I love that. But for now, while we are toasting it, I'm pretty sure you would like to get your hands on the ingredients list and on the recipe. Thank you so much for coming through and just putting us on with a filling, delicious and mouth-watering dish. Thank you so much, Ilama. Make sure to head over to expressoshow.com.